this is Dina with Pretty Productive. We're a mother-daughter Etsy shop that sells items for both budgeting and planning. Today what I'm going to do is set up my June budget with you, as well as set up my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly with the kit. Now normally what I do is I start my video with just it's already set up, I've already figured it out, but I have a lot of questions on kind of how I come up with my numbers, so I just want to walk through this part of it, and then when I do my cash stuffing on either Friday or Saturday this week, then I'll do the May recap and then go ahead and stuff the envelopes for the month of June. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Now I do have the 7x9 Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly. You know that these erasable pens are my life. Then these are the check boxes that I use on the calendar part, so I can just kind of see an overview, and I normally again don't show this part of it, but it is easier if I set it up this way and I can kind of see. Now my husband and I are both paid once a month at the beginning of the month, so it's not like it in the past where I've had to decide what I'm going to take out of each check, because basically the money that comes in at the beginning of the month is all that comes in. So I have to just, I could pay everything at the beginning of the month and just write it out, or I can kind of massage it throughout the month as they're due. But you know, again, there's only one pot of money, so everything has to come out of that one pot. This chart is what I've used for years for budgeting. It's something I just kind of created. If it's something that you feel like will help you and you do an order of the shop, just put a note to seller. I'm happy to include that. We don't sell it in our shop, but if you think it would help you, let me know and we can definitely include it. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna back that up a little bit. So kind of how I set it up, and I do keep these for like future, just so I can kind of see how I budgeted and where I came in and where I went out. Let me see if I can kind of zoom that in a little bit. Let me look at my May one. Okay, so paycheck number 1 is $4,900. Paycheck number 2 is $4,900. My one daughter pays me $200, and that pays for car insurance and phone. And the other daughter pays me $180. No extra money. And then carry over. I keep a $1,000 cushion in my account. Before I started doing cash envelopes, I gathered up about $1,000 because that's about what I thought I needed for the month for cash stuffing. So I always just keep rolling that forward. So I just leave that $1,000 cushion. So I don't use it as a carryover because it's just there kind of for, you know, in case something happens. And then I do get reimbursed for expenses for my phone and my cell phone. And that's $154. So I do add that in as income because I am paid that back. So our income for the month is always about the same, but I always add it up. It might improve, right? So. Actually, I feel like we're both very fortunate in that we've survived this pandemic. Pretty much, I've always worked from home, or at least for the last 3 years. My husband and my daughter are both working from home, but fortunately they have jobs that they were able to do that. So for my fixed expenses, I look at that. What I did at the beginning of the year is I went through and wrote in what we paid each month in utilities and things like that. So what I was doing was I was going onto the app and then finding out what did I pay for electricity in June last year, water, gas, things like that. Any of the things that were not the same every single month. So for last year, for the month of June, my electric bill was $358. I think it's probably gonna be a little bit higher this month. Water and trash was $141, and it's been about that. It's been averaging about $145. Internet, we now pay $100 instead of $110. Telephone's the same. Mobile phone's a little bit less because one of the phones has been paid off. Car insurance is the same. Life insurance is the same. Natural gas, we've been running higher than the $28 that I paid last June, but we do have more appliances that are now natural gas, and then Netflix has stayed the same. So I just kind of use this as my guideline as I'm plugging in my fixed expenses. So mortgage is $3,300. Now we are escalating that payment, so we can pay it off earlier. HOA is not due until July, but I'm going to put $75 towards that so that it's not such a big bill next month. Cell phone will be $350, I think. Telephone is $45. Internet is $100. Netflix $15. Water trash, I'm going to say $145. Electric, I'm going to put $400. Which would be a little bit more than last year, but all three of us are working from home, so the lights are on all day long and things like that, computers, so I'm going to just bump it up, and if it's less, then great. Life insurance $106, auto insurance $303. Gas last month, for the month of May, was $33, and last year it was $28, so I'll just put 32 kind of. And then pest control we did in May, so I just put $30. It's $90 every 3 months. And then subscriptions, I have Elements Massage, they just reopened. I have Ali Edwards Story Camp, or Story Kit, I think it's called, 15. And Audible, which I love, is 16. So my total fixed expenses for the month. Now I used to have my HOA and my pest control in like a sinking fund, along with my Amazon Prime and Backblaze, which is a backup system for the computer. And I found that I was just constantly putting money in and taking money out. So I just decided just to go ahead and leave it as part of my cushion in the account. So down here is where there's a total section. So when you look at the end, so I can go ahead and put what my income should be, and then my fixed expenses, and this is how I back into my sinking fund. So I don't ever know at the beginning of the month what it's going to be. I only know at the end of the month. So giving, my budget's $400. Now my church is reopening, which is great, but I'm not sure yet how it's gonna work. I don't know if you're gonna have to make an appointment, like only so many people can go, or if it's going to be, I know they're still gonna offer online, so I may leave this money in the account and just write checks. So I don't have to take the money out and put it back in, because I've been doing online giving, so I'm not really sure yet if that's going to be a cash envelope or not. Groceries $500, eating out $200. When you see my May budget recap, you're going to know that this was way out of control. Allowance $200. I do give myself $50 a week. Entertainment, recreation, I'm going to leave for a moment. Household, I'm going to put $100. Personal care, I still have the money in that envelopes from March, so I'm going to leave. I'm not going to fund that. Medical copays, I'm going to put $200, because I don't know why I'm the one paying all the copays, but I am right now. Craft supplies, I'm going to put $200. I should just put stickers. That's really what I spend my money on. And then Etsy shop, I'm going to leave, and we're going to kind of figure that one out together. Now I do not have debt anymore. I do have a Chase card that my anything for the shop gets charged to. So like Creative Cloud, our domain site, things like that. So that all gets charged to that for the month, and that's $100. Now I know that I just paid for the domain site like a yearly fee, so that actually I paid in May, but it really should have been a June bill. And there's a couple things here, so I kind of need to figure this out because I'm definitely spending more on the shop out of my personal budget, and I've left the money into the account of anything that we've made from when we opened the shop a year ago to now. So I think it's at the time where I probably should start using that money for the shop instead of continually funding it from my personal budget, but I need to kind of figure that out. So you're all helping me kind of walk through this system for me. So for lifestyle, let's just say so 400 plus 500 plus 200 plus 200. The reason why I hesitate with entertainment recreation is even though the movie theaters are open, there's really nothing I want to see right now. A lot of the things that we like to do for entertainment recreation isn't happening yet. So I've kind of been using this budget as more like craft supplies, going to Michael's, Joann's, things like that, which it really shouldn't be that. This should be more family oriented. So I'm just going to put $100 in here and we'll see what opens up this month. This is the challenge right now. Arizona, we're like 50% open, but not 100% open. So there's a lot of things still not open. Household, I'm going to put 100. Personal care, I'm not funding. Medical copay, 200. Craft supplies, 200. And I think I'm going to completely separate budget for my Etsy shop. I think it's time. It's been a year. It's now able to stand on its own. So I'm not going to budget for that. So my lifestyle is $1,900. Debt snowball, I don't have. Yay, thank you. So that has been paid off. So 4 minus 502 minus 1,900. So that leaves for sinking funds 3,432. Now, when you look at my sinking funds that I had from last month, I have gone ahead and moved them over. So for Story Camp, I had 300. I added 500. My new balance is 800, and my goal was 800. So this is a workshop that I'm going to in October. It was supposed to be this month. Actually, I would be there right now. So I paid for my flight, and I was able to change that without any penalties. And I actually still have a $90 credit with American Airlines, which is great. So that is paid for, and the seminar is paid for. And the only thing I have left to pay for is the hotel, which is like $6 something, and then food. So I said 800. I might throw another $100 into that just in case, but pretty much that now is paid off. So I don't need to continue to fund this one. Fitness, I have $100 in there right now. I'm not going to add anything. I am receiving a check for like $300, a wellness check from my company that will go into here. And then I don't know if I'll buy a bike. Right now I'm just walking. I don't know if I'll join the gym. They are opening a Lifetime Fitness very close to me. Through my job, we do have like a reimbursement. So I would pay about $30 a month to have a membership at Lifetime, which is great because it's, I think, averages at $109. But I'm not sure yet if A, when it's going to open, and B, if that's really what I want to do. So medical, I'm not kind of funding right now. We do have a medical savings account from when my husband retired. I do have $100 in there right now, and then whatever I don't pay in copays, I'll throw into that. Vacation, my balance is $1,600 right now. I did use $100 from this account. I did buy 2 things on a sale from eBags. One was an underseat bag and one was like a crossbody bag. So I'm going to put $200 back in here. and my new balance should be $1,800. So with vacation, this is for a trip that I'm doing in September. The trip is all paid for. This would just be kind of spending money or excursion money, so I'm not really sure. I think $2,000 was what I wanted to do, so I should be very close to that. Gifts and Christmas, I have $900 in this account right now. I added $400. Oh no, I have more than that. I started with $900. I added $500. No, I added $300. I'm sorry. $900 plus $300, $1,200. So I have $1,200 in this account right now. June, we don't have a lot of birthdays, just a couple. But July, we have a lot of birthdays. So there will not be any funding of this in July. So I do need to put money in for the month of June because my goal is to have $2,000 by Christmas, and that's already using birthday money out of that. And just at the end of, you know, this year, at the beginning of December, I would like to have $2,000 in that account. So I'm gonna say $300. I might add more. So I am starting to save for a computer. I have a desktop right now, and I would like to get a MacBook Pro. They do have a new one coming out, so I am waiting, but I do need to have the money in there, and it's about $2,000, maybe $2,500 by the time you get what you want. So right now I have $600. I'm gonna add $300. So I should have $900 at the end of that. $1,500 here. And I'm not sure when this check is coming through. Okay, so 500, 200, 300, and 300. It's 1,300. Minus 34, 32. Okay, so that gives me $2,132 to start my emergency fund. So we are in baby step number 3. I'm gonna say 3B because we already have our emergency fund at another bank. I personally would like to have 3 to 6 months of one of our incomes in an account attached to this. So what I just did was I moved all of our sinking funds and savings accounts on my Etsy shop to a Capital One 360 account because it does have a much better interest rate than what the credit union had. Plus the fact that you can't get to it. Like, it takes a couple of days to move it in and move it out, and I have a really bad habit of, if I feel like shopping and the money's there, I feel like I can replace it later. So I took that whole thing away from me. The other thing is, when I use things like Story Camp, I'll use my credit card because it's at a hotel. It's a Capital One, and then I can just take the money from that fund and just pay the bill with it instead of paying it out of moving it from my savings into my checking and then paying the bill. So I just felt like it would be less steps and a little bit more safe or harder to get to. And then, so the emergency fund, I'm trying for about 15 to 20,000. So I already have the 1,000, which is baby step number 1, put $1,000 away, so it's just in a separate account. I'll move that over to Capital, well no, I'm not gonna move that over to Capital One. But I did open up an account that was marked emergency funds. I'm gonna leave 1,000 just at the credit union, and then the rest will become part of the Capital One savings accounts. That was very hard to explain, and I'm not sure if I totally confused everybody. So 3132 will be what we have at the end of the month. Now, none of this gets moved until the end of June. So if I'm gonna use part of the gifts one because we have a couple birthdays in the month of June. Vacation I shouldn't be using, but kind of like a sale that comes up that maybe is something I need. Computer I definitely will not be using. emergency fund, you know, something could come up where I don't get to put that full amount in. Story camp, I know I won't be using. So, you know, at the end of the month, I'll move everything where it needs to go. What I did this month was I kind of moved it a little early, just because the money was in the account and I figured I might as well go ahead and move it. So 34, 32, let's make sure it adds up. Okay, it does. Okay, so this is how it's set up right now. Then as actual bills come in, like my electric bill or natural gas bill or the water bill, then I write in the actual and then if it's up or down. Our income is pretty much set. It doesn't fluctuate at all. My girls are very good about paying. My company's great about my expenses, so as long as I do my part, they do their part. Lifestyle is kind of the area that may change a little bit as I see what's happening right now in Arizona. As we continue to open, it may be cash envelopes. It may be kind of a mixture of what I've been doing now. We have been going out to dinner, which has been so nice, but I did find, and you'll see this in my recap, I went way over right here, so it was not pretty. And then my sinking funds, again, will be funded at the end of the month. So when I do my cash envelopes, this is where I put the first breakdown, and then this is a erasable pen, so I can always do the second. So for groceries, if I do half of that, of the 500, it'll be $250. So I normally will do a $100 bill, 250s, 220s, and a 10. That way, if I'm giving somebody in my family money to go to the grocery store, I'm not giving them all of the money. You know how that goes. Eating out is 200. I'll take 100 out for the first time. 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to keep that in 20s. Entertainment, recreation, I'll probably take 50 out and leave the rest in the account. And then for household, I'll leave in the account. Personal care is already funded. My allowance, I take out in 20s and 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the medical copay, I'll leave in the account. Craft supplies, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to leave half in and half out. So I'll take 100 out. So this is what I will need. Okay, so 100 plus. So I'll take out 580. And then I'll leave the giving money in the account, half of the groceries, half of the eating out, the rest of my allowance, because I only take out $100 for allowance, $50 a week the first time. And then entertainment, recreation, I'm taking out half. Household, I'm leaving the account. Medical copays, I'm leaving the account. Craft supplies, I'm going to take out half. Etsy shop, I'm going to be handling totally separate. Okay, so this is my budget breakdown of what I'm planning to do. Cash envelopes will be groceries, eating out, allowance, entertainment, recreation, and craft supplies. Okay, then from there, then come over here. Let me go ahead and lay this down. So I'm going to try to do this pretty quickly because I am really not good at laying down stickers, which is sad since I have a sticker shop. So for birthdays for June, I have Colton. I'm going to call him Coco because it is my nephew's little boy. I'll just put Colton. And he is going to be 3. And then I think that is our only birthday for June, which is nice. Okay, so when I lay this down, I have them color coded. So for lifestyle, that's all my fixed expenses. So my mortgage automatically gets pulled out at the beginning of the month. Cell phone, telephone, internet, Netflix. Now, when we were paid weekly, I had to be really careful about pulling money from each paycheck to go towards paying things. And I've been paid monthly for a while now. This is new for my husband because he retired, so it's just a little weird for him. But it's working. I like it now that I'm used to it because you just pretty much, it is what it is. Okay. So the mortgage will come out on the 1st. Our phone bill, cell phone bill comes out on the 1st. Telephone comes out on the 12th. And then what I do when I get the final amount, I write the amount in and then I check it off when it is paid. Internet is on the 27th. My entire life is on auto pay, so the only 2 bills I have to go in and actually put in the amount is the water bill and the electric bill. And everything else is auto paid. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the HOA money when I do my second cash stuffing. I'll just move that over. Life insurance comes out on the 30th. That's for my husband and I. Our auto insurance comes out on the 21st. Our gas bill comes out on the 25th. And pest control, I'll move when I move the HOA money. So I don't know my actual cell phone bill yet. It's probably going to be about $350. I'm putting $75 in HOA, $30 in pest control. My telephone is $45. I don't know my electric or my water yet, or gas. Internet is $100. Life insurance is $106, and my auto insurance is $303. So those are fixed expenses, and then purple is unbudgeted, so I don't plan on that. I don't need debt this month. Income, pink is such a happy color. Always good to have that as your income color. Actually, we are getting paid on the 29th, but I'll just put up here on the 1st. We get paid on the last Friday before the depending on when the month hits. So we'll get paid on the 1st, and then we'll get paid again on the 30th of June. And then my one daughter pays me her money on the 1st. And then the other one pays when she gets paid. They both are really good about paying because I've threatened them that if they don't, then they can go and get their own insurance. So she'll get paid on the 5th and the 19th. Okay, and then subscriptions. Let's see, Allie Edwards comes out. Audible and Elements. So Audible comes out at the end of the month, usually around the 30th, 29th or 30th. Elements comes out on the 15th. And Allie Edwards comes out on the 15th. Now, my subscriptions get charged to my Capital One card, and then I just pay that off. So the things that go on my Capital One card are my cell phone, my subscriptions, internet, and that's it. Everything else, oh wait, telephone. Everything else I just comes out of my checking account, and the ones that go on to Capital One, then I just move that money. As soon as they come through, I just move that money back onto the card to pay that off. And then hopefully we won't have unbudgeted, but you never know, right? So that's how I lay that down. So let's go ahead and quickly lay down the stickers. So, and I'll write this in off camera so you don't have to watch me do all that, whatever we put onto here. So this is our newest kit in the shop. Kind of goes with the green of June. Now our kits are not labeled for a month because we, you know, not everybody A uses Erin Condren, but two, you know, if you have to order a new kit for each month, then sometimes that gets a little pricey. So our kits have the thick washi, the thin washi, the budget headers, and the budget strips. It is less expensive if you do buy it as a kit. And it is removable matte paper because if you need to pick it up and put it back down, it's very helpful. And you will see me do this quite often. Close enough. First time when we first started doing kits, we didn't have removable matte, and it was just very hard for me to get them down and then try to pick them back up again. I'll go back and fix that later. Okay, so the budget toppers. So this is I put my monthly budget here because this is where my fixed expenses, well, my income and things like that, fixed expenses will go on the next page. Now this is how I set it up. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do it differently, which is great. You just want to make it work for you. Lifestyle. Okay, so I start with income. And so for us, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Total on the 6th line. And then what I do is I just take my erasable pen and a ruler. just so I can keep it straight. Then my next one that I put on this side is my sinking funds. Okay, so now depending on A, how many sinking funds, and B, if you want to put your debt snowball here too, you'll kind of figure out how many lines you want over here. So for the sinking funds, and I also use the Dave Ramsey Every Dollar app. So one thing I found with sinking funds, you have to correct it before the month ends, or you have to wait till the month rolls, because once you're in between, then you can't change the balance. So I usually just wait till the month rolls, and then when I set up my new month, I wait until the first of the month, and then I go in and correct any balances that I need to. So for me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sinking funds now. This part I'm going to leave blank for right now. Oh, I do want to put a note here. This is what I've been starting to do, because I was keeping a separate note on when I was pulling money out of the sinking fund for like gifts. So I just started to put a list right underneath it. Then over here will be my fixed expenses. Total down here. So on my fixed expenses, it's everything in fixed plus subscriptions plus any one of my like household that I have as a category, but I don't have an envelope for it. So the only thing that does not go on here are the categories that I use my cash envelopes for, and that's just because I need a place to kind of track what's going in and going out of that account or that fund, and what my budget is and where I am on my budget. And then this is for the weekly check-in, and this is more for the cash envelopes. And this is what really helps me to stay on track. So for my envelopes, I'm gonna put giving over here just because I'm not sure what it's gonna be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, 6. Okay. So the strips say category, what the budget is, what I've spent, and what do I have remaining. And then I just carry it through the month. So even though I only film every other week, I do a check-in every single week, and I balance my checkbook at least like every 3 days or 4 days, because it just helps to keep me on track. when I know that I need to slow down or I've got money I can use. I love when I have money I can use. I'll just do it this way. Okay, and then let's see, this is week 1. Check in. Week 2. Week 3. Week 4. Actually, for June, I think it's just a 4-week month, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be a 4.5, so we're going to put the 5th week on there. Sometimes, depending on how we get paid, I do have to take it down for a 5th week. Then this will be the total area. Help if they all are going the same direction. So I'll go ahead and write in the first week just so so it's groceries, eating out, giving, recreation, household, personal care. Even though I'm not funding it, I will be using that envelope. And craft supplies. So I'll put my budget here, then week 1 what I spent, the remaining comes down here, becomes the budget for week 2, and so forth throughout the month. If I go over in any account, like say I went over and eating out, the money has to come from another one, so you're not supposed to borrow from envelopes, but sometimes I do. So then I'll mark it out of that budget and into the new budget. So you'll see that as the month goes on. You'll definitely see it in my recap. So that's how I set up the weekly check-in. And then the transaction log, I gotta fix this right here. The transaction log is anything that goes on my Capital One card. If I do HelloFresh and I'm taking that out of my grocery money, then this is where I track it. If I use, say we're gonna online order, and I try to always just pay cash when I get there, but sometimes it's a little bit harder to do right now. There's a lot of places that really don't want cash, which is kind of annoying, but and then at the end of the month, then when I reconcile that card, so when I go to pay it off, then I can go ahead and then, wait, actually, well, I could do either one. I'm gonna leave that one up there because you can do either strip. Okay. And then, let's see. So you can do these as dividers if you find you need to or want to. And then on this one, I'll write in and then make my lines for it. But that'll kind of give you an idea, overview of how I set up the budget. And then this is the front page. On the side here or in the front page, I have been putting monthly goals. I have wanted to do no spend, and I've been doing no spend, but then I kind of was a little out of control. I'm definitely an emotional spender, and I definitely see that when I'm stressed out, I want to spend money. So that is the reality of it. So I'm going to use this area down here for tracking this month. Cover up these kaleidoscope. I don't know if you all have purchased the new planner, or if you're planning to. I did buy the new life planner because I needed to see if my stickers were gonna fit, which they do. But I'm not using it yet because I still have my rest of this year's, so. Okay, so monthly goals. Start to fund emergency fund. I'm gonna say 8 no spend days. I've tried a month, I've tried weeks, it just didn't work well. So let's just say 8. Budget check-in weekly. Balance. Checkbook weekly, which I do, but sometimes it goes. And then under here, I'm just going to put a note for unbudgeted. This is where I can track anything that is not budgeted. Okay, I can tell it's late in the day for me right now. Unbudgeted. I know a lot of budgeters actually have a category called unbudgeted. I felt like for me, personally, that was just giving me permission to spend money. Well, I just would, if I had a cushion there, I used it. So like, I personally can't do that, but it does work well for some people. Okay, so that is my June budget setup. And then I will be back for the cash stuffing and then the May ending budget. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do so, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much.